Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
President invites Japanese investors to explore Sri Lanka's growth potential. Major breakthrough in Wasim Tajuddin murder probe. Sampat Manamperi admits supplying weapons in Kajja killing. 3 crime syndicate members arrested in India. Shashendra remanded again.
On to those stories in detail now. President Kumara Dissanayake has invited the Japanese business community to join in exploring Sri Lanka's emerging economic opportunities.
President Kumara Dissanayake extended an open invitation to Japan's business community to explore emerging economic opportunities in Sri Lanka, pledging to strengthen bilateral trade and investment ties while encouraging robust private sector participation. The President made these remarks at the Japan-Sri Lanka Business Forum held yesterday at the headquarters of the Japan External Trade Organization in Tokyo. The event drew nearly 200 senior Japanese business leaders and was jointly organized by JETRO, Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Japan, the Japan-Sri Lanka Business Cooperation Committee and the Board of Investment Sri Lanka. Highlighting Sri Lanka's strategic priorities, Dr. Hans Vijay Surya, Chief Advisor to the President on Digital Economy, outlined the government's National Digitalization Roadmap, emphasizing opportunities in digital transformation, artificial intelligence and positioning Sri Lanka as a regional hub for data center development. The BOI showcased priority sectors for Japanese investment including manufacturing, ICT, renewable energy and tourism. A dedicated network session enabled direct engagement between Sri Lankan and Japanese business leaders. On the sidelines, President Dissanayake met with the JETRO chairman who pledged to act as a bridge between the two business communities to foster continuous engagement and mutually beneficial partnerships. President Kumara Dissanayake met with Yohei Sasakawa, the founding chairman of the Nippon Foundation, at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo. The meeting focused on strengthening the long-standing friendship between Japan and Sri Lanka, with both parties expressing commitment to deepening bilateral cooperation. Sasakawa reaffirmed the Nippon Foundation's continued support for uplifting the livelihoods of all communities in Sri Lanka. He expressed future plans to renovate and modernize 100 schools in northern and eastern provinces, aiming to improve educational infrastructure in post-conflict regions.
Japan and Sri Lanka held talks to deepen cooperation in advancing a free and open Indo-Pacific during a high-level bilateral meeting held in Tokyo.
The talks brought together Iwaya Takeshi, Japan's Minister for Foreign Affairs, and Vijita Herath, Sri Lanka's Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is accompanying President Kumara Dissanayake. Japan's Minister for Foreign Affairs had expressed Japan's intention to strengthen security cooperation and expand collaboration under the comprehensive partnership, building on the long-standing friendship between the two nations. He highlighted the provision of UAVs for monitoring, surveillance and disaster relief as the first project under Japan's official security assistance to Sri Lanka. Reaffirming Japan's strategic vision, Japan's Minister for Foreign Affairs stressed the importance of maintaining a rules-based international order and reiterated Japan's commitment to working with Sri Lanka to ensure regional stability and prosperity. He emphasized that FOIP cooperation would remain a cornerstone of bilateral engagement. In response, Minister Herath expressed gratitude for Japan's warm welcome and acknowledged Japan's support in multiple areas including debt restructuring. He reaffirmed Sri Lanka's commitment to strengthening ties across a wide range of sectors. The two ministers also exchanged views on regional security issues including North Korea's nuclear and missile programs and the abduction issue, with Minister Herath expressing understanding of Japan's concerns.
Case file.
A major development has emerged in the investigation into the 2012 murder of national rugby player Wasim Tajuddin. At a special police media briefing held this afternoon, it was confirmed that Aruna Vidanagamage alias Kajja was among the group that was allegedly involved in the murder plot.
The CID focused on the route taken by Tajuddin on the night of his death. He was driving a Toyota Vitz and investigators analyzed CCTV footage along the route. At one point, Tajuddin was seen parking near a supermarket in Havelock Town and entering to purchase a bottle of water. Upon leaving, another vehicle was seen tailing his car. The CID closely examined footage of the second vehicle and noticed an individual near it. The image was released to the media, but at the time no one could identify the person. During interrogation, Bako Saman was linked to the assassination of Arunashanta, also known as Middeniya Khadja, a gang member who was shot dead in early 2025. Bako Saman's involvement was confirmed by Khadja's wife, who voluntarily approached the CID and provided a statement. She revealed that her husband had received multiple threats and in 2023 appeared on a YouTube channel where he disclosed details related to the murder of Wasim Tajuddin. The CID questioned her further about any knowledge she had regarding the case. She stated that her understanding was based solely on what her husband had shared in the interview. CID detectives then showed her the CCTV image of the individual entering the vehicle that followed Tajuddin. Despite the footage being unclear, she identified the person as her late husband based on specific characteristics. She noted that the individual was seen placing his hands on his hip, a posture her husband often adopted due to chronic hip pain. She had lived with him for 17 years and was confident in her identification. Her statement strongly suggests that the previously unidentified individual in the CCTV footage is indeed Arunashanta alias Khadja, who was killed earlier this year.
අරුණශාන්තනොත් කජ්ජා බවට දැනට අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව මගින් අනාවරණය සිදු කරගෙන තිබෙනවා.
Former Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna local government candidate Sampath Manamperi has confessed to providing the firearm used in the brutal killing of Khadja and his 2 children. Manamperi further revealed that he leveraged political influence and connections within security agencies to operate as a key distributor in Bako Saman's drug trafficking network, while also facilitating the transportation of firearms.
Former Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna local government candidate Sampath Manamperi has revealed that he transported firearms used in several murders in the south. He admitted that he supplied the gun used in the killing of Khadja and his 2 children. What's the story behind Khadja's murder? On the 9th of the 18th of February, Aruna Vidana Gamage, also known as Migasare Khadja, was shot dead while travelling on a motorcycle with his 2 children. All 3 were killed in the attack. The suspects in this triple murder include Bako Saman and Tambili Lahiru, who were later arrested in Indonesia. Why was Khadja targeted? Khadja was no stranger to Hambantotto's underworld. He had faced multiple allegations, including illegal possession of firearms and extortion, and was known to have close ties with several powerful politicians in the district. However, tensions escalated after Khadja appeared on a YouTube interview in February 2024, making explosive claims about political figures and unsolved crime.
I even filed a complaint asking for protection for the victims, but I never received it. If I start talking, there will be big problems. If someone takes responsibility for my safety, I will reveal everything. Is Tajuddin the only one who disappeared? When one government comes, the truth comes out. When another comes, it disappears. That's what happened with Tajuddin. And what about Chandi from Belivatta? He died inside a high security zone. How does that happen? If my life is taken, this evidence will not vanish. Everything is ready. If anything happens to me, all the evidence will go to the media. If you can, kill me and see. I'm not afraid. These people have already wished for my death.
During this discussion, Aruna Vidana Gamage expressed critical views about several prominent political figures in the Hambantota district. He had recently shifted his support to another political party after being actively involved with the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna for a long time. Whose orders did former SLPP local government candidate Sampath Manamperi follow when assisting in Khadja's murder? In his YouTube interview, Khadja claimed to have evidence related to multiple killings, including the murder of Tajuddin and Chandi. Sampath Manamperi, who once served as a police VIP security officer and was also assigned to the security detail of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, has faced serious allegations in the past. During that period, Manamperi was accused of involvement in several abductions and murders. One such case was the abduction, extortion and killing of prominent businessman Sri Skandaraja, the owner of Kala Traders. He was also implicated in the assassination of former Member of Parliament Nadaraja Raviraj. Following the intervention of the Attorney General, Manamperi became a state witness. In 2016, the High Court acquitted all suspects in that case, but the matter is currently under review before the Court of Appeal. What are the links between Sampath Manamperi and the recent shootings? Manamperi has now revealed that 2 firearms used in Khadja's murder in Thorayaya were supplied by him to the gunman. Police further said that he transported 3 T-56 assault rifles, 5 pistols and a large quantity of live ammunition. After being brought to Midenia recently, additional weapons and ammunition were recovered from another location.
Today, the Colombo High Court issued a warrant for the arrest and production in court of Sampath Manamperi, who is currently in detention over the recent discovery of 2 containers of raw materials used for manufacturing the drug ice in Midenia. Manamperi is also an accused in a 2009 incident over the robbery of a rice lorry and intimidating a Tamil businessman in Narahempeta, Colombo. Colombo High Court Judge Rashantha Godavela issued this order.
When the case was called today, the attorney appearing for the defendant, Sampath Manamperi, informed the court that his client is currently in detention in connection with a different case. Accordingly, the High Court judge ordered a report on the relevant defendant to be submitted on the next court date. Niranjan Pereira, another defendant in this case, was also absent when the case was called. His attorney informed the court that this defendant is currently imprisoned following an order by the Mathura Magistrates Court over charges connected to the possession of the drug ice. The Attorney General has filed 7 charges against 4 defendants, including Sampath Manamperi, regarding an incident that occurred on the 12th of August 2009. The defendants are accused of posing as police officers near the Narahempeta junction, intimidating a businessman named Selvadurai Kolavenathan, who was transporting rice from the eastern province to Colombo, and robbing him of a rice lorry, money and a mobile phone. During the proceedings, it was submitted that the value of the stolen rice was nearly 1 million rupees.
3 Sri Lankans accused of serious crimes back home have been arrested in India by the Central Crime Branch in Bangalore.
According to Indian media reports, the suspects were found illegally residing in a luxury apartment near Devanahalli in Bengaluru. Authorities suspect the trio had been hiding in India for quite some time. The arrested individuals have been identified as Iresh Hansaka from Ratmalana, Sugat Samendu from Kotahena and Dilit Harishan from Deundara. Reports indicate that the suspects had illegally entered India, travelling from Jaffna to Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu. Police confirmed that none of them possessed valid travel documents or passports at the time of the arrest. Further investigations revealed that Iresh Hansaka is wanted in connection with a major drug trafficking case, while Sugat Samendu faces allegations related to murder and other serious crimes. Indian authorities have informed the Sri Lankan High Commission regarding the arrests, as per media reports.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga S. Bodaragama today ordered for former Minister Shashendra Rajapaksa to be further remanded over charges under the Public Property Act. He was remanded until the 14th of October.
The magistrate, while remanding the suspect, instructed the prison superintendent to submit a detailed report to the court on the treatment provided to the suspect at the prison hospital and any other medical facilities by the following day. When the case was called, the Bribery Commission informed the court that an additional secretary and a director from the Office of Reparation are also due to be arrested in connection with the incident. Following these developments, the Bribery Commission directed the magistrate to formally arrest the suspects and produce them in court. Shashendra Rajapaksa was arrested by the Bribery Commission on the 6th of August over allegations that he pressured officials from the Office for Reparation to secure compensation of 8,850,000 rupees for properties including an unauthorized building on land belonging to the Sri Lanka Mahavali Authority in Sevanagala, which had been damaged during the Aragalaya.
The 2025 Women's Cricket World Cup got underway this afternoon at the Guwahati Stadium in India. The opening match is being played between hosts India and Sri Lanka. Chasing a target of 270 for a win, Sri Lanka are currently at 62 for the loss of 1 wicket. All matches of the tournament will be broadcast live on TV1 and can also be streamed on the Sirasa TV official website www.sirasatv.lk.
The 13th Women's World Cup is being hosted by India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka captain Chamariyatapattu won the toss and elected to bowl first. This is how the players arrived at the stadium before the start of the match today. Singer Nuandika Senaratne sang the Sri Lankan national anthem. The Indian national anthem was sung by veteran singer Shreya Ghoshal. Pratika Rawal and Smriti Mandhana opened the Indian innings. The two of them were unable to build a strong partnership for the first wicket. The first wicket fell at 14 runs. Udeshika Prabodhini dismissed Smriti Mandhana for 8 runs. The match was stopped for an hour due to rain and resumed with an innings reduced to 47 overs. The second wicket partnership between Pratika Rawal and Harleen Deol reached 67 runs. Rawal was then dismissed for 37 runs by Inoka Ranavira. Harleen, who was close to her 7th ODI half-century, was restricted to 48 runs by Inoka Ranavira. Inoka returning to action also dismissed Jemima Rodriguez before she could score. In addition, Indian captain Harmanpreet Kaur was also dismissed for 21 runs by Inoka Ranavira. India's top order collapsed for 124 runs for the loss of 6 wickets. Subsequently, India recovered with 57 runs from Amanjot and an unbeaten 28 by S. Rana and posted 269 for the loss of 8 at the end of their allotted 47 overs.
Been the start to a home World Cup that India would want.
As Sri Lanka's debt restructuring nears completion, the IMF warns that there is no room for fiscal slippage.
Sri Lanka's sovereign debt restructuring process is almost complete, marking a significant milestone in the country's economic recovery. According to an IMF working paper titled Sri Lanka's Sovereign Debt Restructuring, Lessons from Complex Processes by Peter Brewer, Sandesh Dungana and Mike Lee, the restructuring has helped normalize domestic financing conditions and stabilize the economy. However, the IMF cautions that restructuring alone is not enough to ensure long-term debt sustainability. The paper stresses the need for continued fiscal discipline, prudent macroeconomic policies and stronger institutions under and beyond the current extended fund facility arrangement. It noted that there is no room for slippage on the fiscal front. Renewed efforts are needed to strengthen public debt management given a more complex post-restructuring debt portfolio. Importantly, new borrowing programs should closely align with the program objectives in order to support strong fiscal constraints and mitigate debt vulnerabilities. The IMF emphasizes that maintaining fiscal prudence is critical for Sri Lanka to regain market access, attract investment and avoid another debt crisis. These measures, combined with structural reforms, are essential to place public debt on a sustainable downward trajectory. The International Monetary Fund's mission chief for Sri Lanka, Ivan Papageorgiou, met with Prime Minister Dr. Harinyamarasuriya at the Temple Trees to review the progress of the government's ongoing economic reform program. During the meeting, Papageorgiou praised the Sri Lankan government's commitment to strengthening governance and reducing corruption. He also acknowledged the importance of recent tax policy reforms, particularly those addressing exemptions, and welcomed the allocation of resources in the upcoming 2026 national budget for the country's social protection system.
The All-Island Three-Wheeler Drivers Union convened a joint media briefing to address key developments affecting the industry. During the briefing, attention was drawn to the decision by the Western Provincial Road Passenger Transport Authority to resume the registration of three-wheelers in the province starting from 1st of October.
This registration and regulation of three-wheelers began in 2002, with the first formal registrations taking place in 2004. However, during President Chandrika Kumaratunga's tenure, the process was disrupted by a group aligned with Mahinda Rajapaksa. Although he later came to power and remained in office until around 2009 or 2010, the system was never properly implemented. In 2016, the Yahapalana government attempted to revive the registration process, but it never moved beyond media discussions. We must genuinely thank the current government for taking concrete steps. Previous administrations only addressed the concerns of three-wheeler drivers when nearing the end of their term. After winning elections, they forgot us. In contrast, the present government, which received significant support from the three-wheeler community, is now fulfilling its responsibilities. This is an industry plagued by irregularities and exploitation. The government is now introducing a structured and regulated system that will benefit the three-wheeler community. We are hopeful that this initiative will not be limited to press releases and that the registration and legal framework will be fully operational by the 1st January 2026.
මේ ලියාපදිංචි කළා මේ නීති අඩුතරමේ 2026 ජනවාරි 1 වෙනිදා ඉඳන්වත් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරයි කියලා.
The briefing also addressed the issue of fare structures for three-wheelers.
නිශ්චිත ගාස්තුවක් ලංකාවට බලපාන ආකාරයේ
There is currently no standardized fare system that applies nationwide. Regardless of individual preferences, a maximum fare must be clearly defined. Just like private buses, which have slight regional variations, three-wheeler fares should be regulated in a similar manner. Charging above the set fare should be considered a violation, while operating below it should not be penalized. Without government intervention, the system remains chaotic. Voluntary compliance alone will not bring order. It is the responsibility of the authorities to ensure that fare regulations reflect real-world conditions on the road.
පහපාරේ යථාර්ථයක් කර ගැනීම පාලකයන්ට සතුවා කිව්වා.
News First with the people.
News First, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Randhoni, a powerful account of a daughter's fight to uncover the truth on behalf of her father, was officially launched today in Colombo. The book was authored by Sirasa Senanayaka, the channel head of Newsfirst.
The much-anticipated book Randhoni was officially launched today at an event held at the Colombo International Book Fair, based on the widely publicized experiences of Dr. Shafi Shahabdeen and the challenging journey faced by his daughter, Fatima Zainab Shafi. The book tells the compelling story of Dr. Shafi's daughter. Authored by senior journalist Sirasa Senanayaka, the channel head of Newsfirst, Randhoni is a meticulously crafted work that delves into both resilience and inspiration. The launch was attended by a large audience and was chaired by Shashi Raja Mahendran, the chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group. Published by MD Gunasena, Randhoni is also available as an e-book accessible through the Gurlugomi digital platform.
මේ පොත ස්මාර්ට් පොතක්. මේ පොත කියුවට පස්සේ ඔබට පුළුවන් අපේ QR code එක.
This is a smart book. After reading it, you can use our QR code to access the book online and share your thoughts. Simply scan the code with your smartphone to upload your feedback. You can also write about the book or even create your own extended version if you feel it could go further. Exceptional submissions can be included in future editions. This book, Randhoni, is truly timeless.
ඔබේ ලිවීම හොඳ නම් අපිට මේ පොතට එකතු කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. මේ පොත Randhoni නොමියන පොතක්.
The launch was attended by Siobhan Daniel, Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group and Head of the Sirasa Media Network, along with Rajiv Gunasena, Director of MD Gunasena. Other distinguished guests included Tilvin Silva, General Secretary of the JVP, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Minister of Health and Mass Media, and Bimal Ratnayaka, the Minister of Transport. Fatima Zainab Shahabdeen, the daughter of Dr. Shafi Shahabdeen, who faced significant challenges, including being unable to attend school due to unfounded accusations against her father, has successfully completed her education and is now pursuing medical studies. She shared her thoughts at this event.
සාර්ථකව අධ්‍යාපනයේ මූලික කඩයින් කිහිපයක් පසු කර වෛද්‍ය විද්‍යාලයේ පළමු සිසු සුවය කළ අධ්‍යාපනය ලබන මට තියෙනවා පුංචි පණිවිඩයක් ආදරණීය අංගිලා මල්ලිලාට කියන්න. ඔබට මතකද එක්ෂණ කුඩලිගම කවියා ගංගාවේ සංගීතය පද්‍ය පන්තිය තුළ කියනවා කොච්චර බාධකාවක් ගංගාව මුහුණට දරා යනවම තමයි. ජීවිතෙත් එහෙමයි ගංගාවක් වගේ. ඒ වගේම මම මෙතනට රත්නශ්‍රී විජේසිංහ මහතාගේ අදහසක් එක් කරන්න කැමතියි. එතුමා කියනවා දුෂ්කරය කියා හැරයා යුතුද ජීවිතය කටු පුපුර සිපගනිමි හෙට මලක් වනු පිණිස ජීවිතේ සෑම අභියෝගයක්ම ධනාත්මක ලෙස බාරගෙන හෙට දවස දිනන්නට ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම හැකි වේයයි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් මම නිහඬ වෙමි. ස්තුතියි.
Dr. Shafi Shahabdeen emotionally recalled the dark period when he was subjected to unfounded allegations.
මම පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳන් ගෙදුනේ විජිතපුර රජමහා විහාරයේ අසල කලාවව කියන පුංචි ලස්සන ගමක. මම දකින්නේ ජාතිවාද.
Ever since I was a child, I grew up in a small, beautiful village near Kalavawa Reservoir by Vijitapura Rajamaha Viharaya. I always believed that racism is like a cancer. If we don't fight it, we cannot move forward as a country. We all need to protect humanity and live as Sri Lankans to build this nation. Otherwise, we cannot give the beautiful future we hope for to the next generation. I have one advice. I have given this to my daughter as well. One day, transform yourself in a way that benefits this country. Save the hearts of the poor patients and the needy in this land. Never think this person belongs to my caste or that person belongs to another caste. If you think that way, you are wrong. I tell this to my daughter and I say it to everyone who will take responsibility for this country in the future.
එහෙම හිතුවොත් ඔයාට වැරදිනවා කියලා මං ඒ දුවටත් කියනවා ඉදිරි අනාගතයේ මේ රට බාර ගන්න ඉන්න හැමෝටම කියනවා.
Why was Ramdhoni written? Here's what the author Suranga Senanayaka had to say.
Zainab duwa මට අහම්බෙන් හමු වෙනවා නෙමෙයි. මම අවුරුදු 5 මාරක් ඩොක්ටර් සාෆිගේ නඩුව ෆලෝ කරනවා.
I did not meet Zainab's daughter by chance. For the past 5 years, I have been following Dr. Shafi's case. What I realized is that there is so much more we need to do for this society. I was born in an open economy. Over the past decade, I have lived with a question in my heart, seeing the injustices I witnessed in 88, 89, feeling blind, acting like a madman, and I wanted someday to bring some justice to that conscience. I believe this book can, even in a small way, contribute to the vibrant nation we aspire to build. That is why I dedicate this book not only to my 3 children, but also to all children of this nation who wish to see a colorful, diverse country. If all flowers belong to the same species, there would be no diversity. Flowers must bloom in colors. Our society is the same. It becomes beautiful with diversity like a bouquet of flowers. Let's create a colorful nation. Ramdhoni can be used to help build that nation.
වර්ණවත් රටක් හදමු. ඒ රට හදන්න රන්දෝනි උපයෝගී කරගමු.
How did Dr. Shafi Shahabdeen, the central character of Ramdhoni, and his daughter Fatima Zainab Shafi endure such pain while remaining profoundly humane? The cultural background underpinning this resilience was explained by Siobhan Daniel, Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group, during the main lecture. He highlighted the historical Vava culture and Sri Lankan human relationships that shaped the life of Dr. Shafi in the city of Nuwara Kalavia.
අපි දන්නවා අපි හැමෝම මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නූතන රටක් වෙනුවෙන්නේ. අපි හොයන්නේ modern nation එකක්නේ. එහෙමනම් නූතන රටක් අපි නිර්මාණය කරන්න.
We all know that we are here for a modern nation. What we are seeking is a modern nation. If we are to build such a nation, we need to understand clearly what a modern nation truly means. Dr. Shafi explained to us the harm caused to our country by regressive ideas. Building a modern nation means creating a country where everyone can move forward solely based on their abilities, nothing else. If not, it doesn't matter who your mother or father is, what school you went to, or what your ethnicity is. There must be diversity. We can see how developed countries embrace it. If we are heading toward such a future, we cannot be divided. That power is in the hands of the people. If we want to move forward, we have to make it happen. Some might think this is just a revival of an old past or a fantastical creation, but it is not. I believe anyone who can think freely beyond their own perspective will understand that this is the only way to move forward. If we are moving toward a modern nation, we must go together. That is why Suranga personally gave freedom to this idea. Thank you to all of you.
එකම විදිය අපි නූතන රටක් දේශන ගමන් කරනවා නම් අපි යන්න ඕනේ එකට. ඒ නිසා මේ අදහසට නිදහස දුන්න සුරංග පෞද්ගලිකව thank you. ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට ස්තුතියි.
Randoni succeeds in showing that even in times of extreme adversity, human virtues can be nurtured and that truth and righteousness ultimately will prevail.
According to the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, fuel prices will be revised with effect from midnight today. The price of a litre of auto diesel will be reduced by 6 rupees. The price of a litre of octane 95 petrol will be reduced by 6 rupees and the price of a litre of kerosene will be reduced by 5 rupees. Other fuel prices will not be revised. In more local news, Sri Lanka's National Artificial Intelligence Expo and Conference entered its second day in Colombo, bringing together local and international leaders, innovators and policymakers to delve into the transformative potential of AI.
The second day of the Sri Lanka's National Artificial Intelligence Expo and Conference was held in Colombo, drawing local and global leaders, innovators and policymakers to explore the transformative power of AI. Organized by the Ministry of Digital Economy in partnership with SLT Mobitel, the event highlights Sri Lanka's ambition to become a regional hub for emerging technologies. Today's sessions featured insightful panel discussions on a wide range of AI and technology topics. The day's highlight was the Code Blast Hackathon, uniquely featuring AI integration this year. 14 teams competed in the final round, with 8 of them representing universities.
To track their baby's health and development. Smart Baby LK by Pixel Pushers right here on stage. They are, this is Team X on stage. They are the best team right here at the Code Blast Challenge. So congratulations to them. They walk away with 300,000 rupees. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for the winners. Team X, congratulations.
Hundreds of visitors, including school students, explored the AI Expo, experiencing demonstrations of cutting-edge innovations across sectors such as education, healthcare, agriculture and governance.
South Asia's heritage took center stage in Colombo with the launch of the SAARC Heritage Forum 2025.
The SAARC Heritage Forum 2025 commenced in Colombo under the patronage of Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya. The inaugural ceremony was attended by SAARC regional ambassadors, High Commissioners, Minister Hiniduma Sunil Senavi and several other distinguished guests.
This forum is not a one-time event. It is a platform for sustained dialogue, strategic planning and collaborative action. It serves as a mechanism to institutionalize heritage cooperation and ensure that our cultural legacy is not only preserved but actively mobilized to support regional development and diplomacy. One of the key directives of the Summit Declaration was the creation of the SAARC Heritage List. This directive, long envisioned in the SAARC agenda for culture, needs to be promoted through the development of operational guidelines. While global recognitions such as the World Heritage List are important, they currently represent only 0.05% of our region's cultural wealth. This is not due to a lack of heritage, it is due to the absence of regional mechanisms to recognize and celebrate them. The SAARC Heritage List will fill this gap.
The 3-day forum will feature multiple sessions focused on sharing knowledge and experiences related to the cultural and historical heritage of countries in the region. The event is expected to foster greater cooperation among SAARC nations in the preservation and promotion of regional heritage.
Today is a very significant day for the Murukottan Chennai school community in Batticaloa. And this is because the land which had been under the control of the military for 35 years was returned to the school community today.
The Murukottan Chennai Ramakrishna Mission Vidyalayam under the Kalkuda Educational Zone in Batticaloa was handed back to the community today after 3.5 decades. The event where the land was handed over was chaired by Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Sunil Handunethi. The ceremony was attended by members of Parliament, the Batticaloa District Government Agent, the Command of the Security Forces in the East, the Director of Education for the Eastern Province and many others, including the school community. The Minister and the Command of the Security Forces in the East jointly handed over the documents for the transfer of the Murukottan Chenai Ramakrishna Mission Vidyalam land to the Batticaloa District Government Agent.
After 35 years, public property belonging to the people of this area is being returned to them. The school complex had been taken over by the military for security purposes, with the military camp operating here since 1991. Today, the military handed back the school, including 4 buildings and the playground, after properly clearing the premises. The community had long requested the return of the school after the war. This is a proud and joyful moment for everyone present here today. Our thanks goes to everyone involved, including the Major General. The school has been handed over to us in a condition that allows us to take immediate possession. On behalf of our school community, we sincerely thank the President and his government, Sunil Handunethi, and the military officers for making this possible.
Sri Lanka is eyeing US investments in graphite mining as the embassy in Washington, D.C. engaged with a Montana delegation.
The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Washington, D.C. held a preliminary virtual discussion with a Montana state business delegation to explore mutually beneficial partnerships in Sri Lanka's graphite mining sector. The meeting was facilitated by the Montana National Guard under the State Partnership Program. The session featured a presentation by Professor Kusali Gamage, who highlighted Sri Lanka's globally renowned high-purity vein graphite and its untapped potential. She noted that the sector currently relies on traditional mining methods and exports raw graphite with minimal value addition. Introducing advanced technologies and value-added processing could significantly boost profitability and global competitiveness. Professor Gamage, on behalf of the Montana side, also announced plans to lead a delegation of 15 to 20 US-based graphite researchers to Sri Lanka next April for a graphite mining summit culminating in a 5-day workshop at the University of Peradeniya. Sri Lanka's ambassador to the US, Mahinda Samarasinghe, underscored the favourable tariff environment and strong bilateral ties, positioning Sri Lanka as an attractive destination for foreign direct investment. He reaffirmed the embassy's commitment to facilitating business connections across multiple sectors.
A roundtable discussion was held in Colombo featuring Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka, Levan S. Zagarian, on the Ukrainian crisis and its international aspects.
The Pathfinder Foundation hosted its latest Ambassadors Roundtable in Colombo, featuring Russian Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Levan Zagarian. Speaking on the Ukrainian crisis and its international aspects, the session brought together experts, think tank members and media representatives.
Our main mistake of Russia was we trusted in Western countries to their leaders, but they turned to be liars, big liars. They don't keep their promises, So we had to start our special military operation, and right now I don't want to go into details. We continue our operation. Our demands are quite clear. They were set by President Putin. Ukraine will never join NATO. It should be a neutral country, and Ukrainians must accept the reality. 4 new regions, they are part of the Russian Federation: Kherson, Zaporozhye, Lugansk and Donetsk, plus Crimea. It's out of discussion. And of course lifting all sanctions. We were a little bit optimistic with the coming back of President Trump, and there were, very important meeting between Foreign Minister of Russia, Mr. Lavrov, with Marco Rubio in Saudi Arabia, other negotiations on other levels, and finally the meeting in Alaska. President Putin came to and met President Trump. We now realize that they are more constructive. They are ready to listen to our concerns. That's very important. Unlike previous administration, they were ignoring our concerns, our security concerns, which was totally unacceptable for us. Now we see, President Trump is a very emotional person. We respect him, but he started to insult my country. Once he said that Russia is a paper tiger. And our response was, we are not tiger. We are bears, not paper bears, we are bears.
The discussion also underscored the long-standing ties between Sri Lanka and Russia, highlighting cooperation in human rights, trade and key sectors such as education, science, energy and infrastructure, with both nations committed to further strengthening relations despite global challenges.
Mrs. World Shego Kailai arrived in Sri Lanka to join the excitement of the Mrs. World Sri Lanka 2025 Grand Finale.
Mrs. World 2025 Shego Kailai arrived in Sri Lanka ahead of the much anticipated Mrs. World Sri Lanka 2025 Grand Finale.
I am so excited to be in Sri Lanka to attend Mrs. Sri Lanka World that will be happening on the 2nd of October. Can't wait to see who's going to be the new queen to follow in these very big footsteps that Ishadi has laid. So far so good. I love warm weather. I am from South Africa and we're known for warm weather. So this is so far so good. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see the culture. I'm very excited to taste the food. I love food. So I'm very, very excited.
The event, which celebrates beauty, talent and empowerment, will bring together contestants from across the country to compete for the prestigious crown.
The 9th ABU Media Summit on Climate Action and Disaster Prevention will take place in November. A press conference on this key summit took place in Colombo to raise awareness of its importance for Sri Lanka.
The 9th Asia Pacific Conference on Climate Action and Disaster Reduction is scheduled to be held in Sri Lanka on November 25th, 26th and the 27th. The Clean Sri Lanka program is also set to join as a partner.
We all have a responsibility to understand environmental responsibility and to share that understanding with the rest of the country. The aim of the Clean Sri Lanka program's environmental pillar is to cultivate a citizenry that is aware of and committed to environmental responsibility.
Hamas is said to be reviewing the 20-point peace plan US President Donald Trump unveiled yesterday. Should both sides agree to the deal, the proposal envisages an immediate ceasefire, the withdrawal of Israeli forces to the agreed-upon line.
All the Israeli hostages would be released, followed by the release of Palestinian prisoners and a surge of aid into Gaza. The plan also proposes that Gaza would be governed by a transitional government, including Palestinian and international experts, with oversight from a new international transitional body.
Trump's 20-point plan for peace is not a detailed proposal for how to end war and implement post-war governance for Gaza. It is a framework or principles, as he put it, for further mediate negotiations. It's an all-in-one deal calling for hostages and prisoners to be freed, partial Israeli troop withdrawals, and then a governance and security mechanism for Gaza. The outline is characteristically colorful, making Trump himself the chairman of the Board of Peace. He would effectively be the governor of Gaza.
If the Palestinian Authority does not complete the reforms that I laid out in my vision for peace in 2020, they'll have only themselves to blame. We're giving them an amazing footprint, and they have amazing support from the leaders of the Arab world and the Muslim world, the great leaders. These are great leaders. These are unbelievable leaders that have built great countries and very wealthy countries. What the future holds for the Palestinians, no one really knows, but the plan that we put forward today is focused on ending the war immediately, getting all of our hostages back, getting everything back. Hard to believe when you even say it, and creating conditions for durable, Israeli security and Palestinian success. Israeli security is going to be involved. We're going to help you. We'll be there with you in terms of helping with security. We want to make sure it works.
I think we should understand that we're giving everybody a chance to have this done peacefully, something that will achieve all our war objectives without any further bloodshed. But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself.
The Palestinian Authority welcomes the sincere and determined efforts of US President Trump to end the war in Gaza in a statement published by foreign media. The statement affirms its commitment to work with the US, regional states and partners to end the war through comprehensive agreement that ensures sufficient delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza and the release of hostages and prisoners. The statement also says the authority is committed to holding new elections within a year of the war's end and forming a new security force.
Addressing the UN General Assembly, the Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea gave a muscular defense of his country's stance on nuclear weapons, also highlighting strides towards economic development. This is the first speech at the UN General Assembly in 7 years for a high-ranking North Korean official.
Imposition of denuclearization on the DPRK is a tantamount to demanding it to surrender sovereignty and the right to existence and violate the Constitution. We will never give up sovereignty, abandon the right to existence, and violate the Constitution. Comrade Kim Jong-un, President of the State Affairs of the DPRK, made it clear at the 13th session of the 14th Supreme People's Assembly on September 21 that our party and the government would invariably and firmly safeguard without the slightest vacillation the Constitution of the DPRK and its basic law on the policy of nuclear forces, perpetuating the possession of nuclear weapons, and thoroughly guarantee the supreme interest of our state. The policy line of a Comrade President of the State Affairs represents our state law, and we will defend the state law without fear. We will never give up nuclear, which is our state law, national policy, and sovereign power, as well as the right to existence. Under any circumstances, we will never walk away from this position.
Electronic Arts, the powerhouse behind franchises like FIFA and Battlefield, is about to hit a new high score.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Gaming giant Electronic Arts announced that it has entered into a definitive agreement to be acquired by an investor consortium led by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Silver Lake and Affinity Partners in an all-cash deal valued at a jaw-dropping $55 billion, the largest all-cash sponsored take-private deal in history. Under the terms of the agreement, the consortium will acquire 100% of EA. EA shareholders will receive $210 per share in cash, representing a 25% premium over EA's unaffected share price of $168.32 as of the 25th September 2025, and even topping its all-time high of $179.01 from the 14th August 2025. The transaction will be funded by a combination of cash from each of PIF, Silver Lake and Affinity Partners, as well as rollover of PIF's existing stake in EA. EA will remain headquartered in Redwood City, California.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 49.
Thank you for watching. Good night.